It's a new day out here today. Gorgeous as well. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's about 70 degrees or so finally. We've been getting some really cold nights here, which I'm not used to. I think in South Texas, where I recently moved from, it's been getting in the 80s, and I saw one day it was even 90 degrees there. So that's kind of what I'm used to. But anyways, today I've got a few things on my list I want to get done. I'm solo, and I want to get done the fruit trees that I've been showing you some videos on. It's been about 2 or 3 days I've been working on those, off and on. Of course, we've had some other things going on as well with competing priorities. But anyways, what I lack on the fruit trees are getting them mulched for water conservation, and then also putting up the barbed wire around the fences. So for the mulch, I mentioned that I leased the land out for cattle use. The guy who has the cattle, he brought in, looks like maybe one of those large round bales of hay during the winter time. And if you've ever seen those, the cows typically eat, you know, the upper portion, and then the bottom portion on the ground they leave, and then that starts to decompose after a while, which is really great for using as mulch. Not only does it provide water conservation because the sun's not shining directly on the ground where the fruit tree roots are, but over time, as that decomposes, it actually provides some fertilizer and nutrients to the ground as well that the roots will use. So I'm going to put that to use rather than letting it decompose out there in just the pasture. We're going to be using that today to put around the fruit trees. So that's kind of the plan. Let's go ahead and get started. So you should be able to see that ring there. That is where the hay pile was during the winter time, apparently. And that's what we're going to use for mulch. So as I began scraping away the hay, I don't know if you can see here, but there are earthworms. There's an earthworm. There's one as well. There was another one here, but maybe he got away. Anyways, that's you know, that's a good sign. That means there's fertile earth there. The worms actually also provide additional fertilizer to the ground. So anyways, it just goes to show the benefits of using this on the ground around any plants or fruit trees that you may have. You know, like I mentioned, it is decomposing, and that's going to add additional nutrients to the soil, along with attracting earthworms, which are beneficial as well. Mulching has been completed. Overall, it's a small task, but really important. So I've got a pretty large roll of barbed wire here. That thing's heavy, by the way. I don't know, maybe 80 or 100 pounds. Very difficult to carry by yourself. Of course, you can't kind of lean it up on yourself and hold it with one hand because it does have barbs in it. So I used the wheelbarrow to bring it over. That worked out pretty well. What I'm planning to do here is actually measure the perimeter around each one of the trees, and you know, add maybe a foot or so, and then cut each strip of barbed wire to length, and kind of do it one strip at a time. I think that's going to be the best option for me being out here by myself today. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Well, that's work as I figured it would be. I hope you guys got a kick out of that, me dealing with barbed wire. I've only got one strand done. That was my first one. I've already got some good ideas on how to do the next ones that'll hopefully speed it up. But I'm pretty sure that I could hear my former colleagues yelling about wearing eye safety. So I couldn't agree more. So here we go. Okay, so I got the first tree with barbed wire around it. It's not pretty by any means. You know, really you need to have kind of solid wood posts in the ground if you're going to be doing this, at least to provide a little more stability. Because every time you yank on the barbed wire, it kind of pulls these metal T-posts a little close together, and what that means is the bottom ones that you did, they become loose then. So it's kind of like this never-ending game. But I'm hoping that this is a temporary solution. Once I get the cabin built and all the construction is kind of done here, I'm planning to probably fence in the main homestead area. I know that there's also some permaculture design techniques that I can use with planting certain trees or plants that animals like deer and cows don't like, and that kind of provides a natural barrier as opposed to barbed wire fencing. So anyways, that's the long-term answer, but for now I think this will do. So I'm going to do this 4 more times. I can't wait. And I'm not going to time-lapse this because I think you guys get the idea. It's a painstakingly slow process. It is around maybe 7 o'clock, maybe even a little later. I finally got done with the barbed wire. After making the first video, I was talking about how there was slack, you know, caused by pulling the upper T-posts tight. And so I thought, okay, well maybe if I start from the top and go down, that would kind of fix the problem. So I tried that. That really did not resolve it either. I mean, it might have been marginally better, but what I found was once I get all of the strands on there, then I can kind of go back and one by one kind of tighten them, and it's kind of back and forth multiple times, but eventually you kind of get it where it looks decent. But I only did that on one of these because I was running out of time, and that was very time consuming, and I wanted to get them at least all done with some protection because we're going to have some bad weather again here in the next day or so. It's going to be rainy, a little bit cold, so I'm going to go into town. I won't be around, and if the cows show up or if there's some deer that come, I at least wanted a little bit of protection on all of them, even though it may not be 100%. So what I'm going to do over the next few days or weeks, I will come back and kind of tighten those strands a little bit, one by one, until you know, they're good enough to provide the protection that I need until I get the entire homestead either fenced or, like I said earlier, using some natural barrier system. So it was quite an experience, guys. I feel like I got in a fight with a cat, and the cat won. I forgot how fun it was dealing with barbed wire. But anyways, hopefully someone out there has a life hack that you can share with me. Feel free to put that in the comments, so in the future when I'm dealing with this, maybe it's a little easy. Okay, so I'm about to sign off for now. Like I said, I'll be uploading this video on the organic trees here in the next day or so while I'm in town. And then this week we're really going to be focusing on getting the cabin area square and marking it for all of the piers. Next weekend we'll be getting the auger and skid steer out here to drill the holes for the piers. So a lot going on. I'm glad to finally be close to breaking ground on this, but that'll be probably the entirety of the next video that I post, is all the details on that. And as usual, I'm sure when we get done we'll know what we should have done to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Wish you the best. Take care.